Hello, everybody, and welcome to one of our more extended interviews with our participants at the CEO Forum for this year's Display Week. The panel we have this year is really good, really deep, with lots of different experience. So we wanted to get a little bit more in-depth understanding of how they got to where they are than we could do if we put them in the main discussion. So today I'm with Maria Jokelainen from Finland, and we've managed to make the time differences work, and we're both here at the same time, which is good. And I'm going to ask Maria, really, if you can introduce yourself, how you got to be a CEO and how you got to today. Unlike our other panelists, I think you started with an interest in management and business rather than from the technology. Our other panelists are both technologists first.
Yeah, exactly. So hello everybody. My name is Maria, as said, and co-founder in Kuori and Yeti Tablet platform. And I'm fairly new on AV industry. It's around 5 to 6 years now. My background is from IT sector, but mainly from marketing and usability. I started my first company when I was 19. My story, how I got to display industry, is maybe a bit unconventional. So in 2015, my husband and the other co-founder of Kuori, Jarkko, was developing these huge Android tablets like the one you see behind me, and as a sort of hobby, being a nerd and such. Since my background is from usability, I started testing these devices at home. Me and Jarkko, so we have 3 children with ASD, and as I started piloting the screen with our children, I immediately realized that everything turns into a group activity with big screen. Instead of these small handheld devices, my kids started actually interacting with each other around the screen. And this and many other benefits led us then to healthcare care sector industry with our Yeti tablet. And today, Yeti tablet is used all over the world in autism and disability centers, in hospitals, special education, retirement homes, and what they are used for are, for example, rehabilitation, recreational therapy, motivating clients, and some group activities. So I ran Kuori from 0 to 2.5 million company. Without COVID, we would have been a lot bigger company in few years, and we had basically no idea of the AV or display industry, and we haven't had any major funding, so it has been a challenging ride. Mm. However, this lack of major funding led us then to find real customer niche on AV market and developing high-level expertise on these new arising markets. So today, in addition to healthcare, Kuori is the world-leading expert on touchscreen solutions for harsh environments. And in Kuori, we combine thermodynamics know-how to modular touchscreen screen and software know-how. And the screens are used, for example, on construction site where there is dust and water, outdoor digital signage where you have to take care of take into account the weather conditions, lots, temperature range, military, outdoor sports, industry, and so forth. I am today, we have a new CEO who is concentrating on whole Kuori, and I myself am today concentrating on Yeti tablet because my heart is there. So healthcare is now the business unit that I'm running today.
Right. So is it fair to say that you've been driven in that direction by 2 factors? One is availability of finance. You needed to make some business to invest, and but also by requests from customers, rather than you had your Yeti tablet idea, but you were also driven by customer requests.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we were fully listening to customers, and this led us to we work with many global giants that I cannot name, but that but listening to these customer requests led us to find these sort of niches that I think that AV industry is overlooking a bit and concentrating all on same sectors. So we are now going to the other sectors, and yeah.
Yeah, it's very characteristic of the industrial display market. I once tried to do some market research on the industrial display market in Europe, but the reality was most of the existing suppliers were a little bit like Kuori, were more interested in their customers than the market. As long as their customers were happy and they were doing business and they were growing, they didn't really care about market share or anything that a consumer electronics brand might be interested in. It's really just, well, I remember one particular company saying, look, as long as Deutsche Bahn keeps sending me orders, I know where I'm going. I don't need data. So we never did the report.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we are mass scaling our products. So kind of the idea is to really mass produce to these markets, that it's not just that we are serving some bigger customers, but yeah.
Are you working with a partner there, or?
Well, we develop everything internally, but as one might guess, we are producing them somewhere else.
Oh, sure.
Where Asia comes to mind.
Yeah.
We are very good at software technology as well. So I think combining this is the real expertise. I honestly think that many display companies are too much involved with the actual display and forget that it's the whole usability, and you have to take the software into account there.
Yeah, I'm fond of saying that a display without a person has no purpose, but it's quite possible to talk to display engineers that never think about the input side of the interface, if you like. A display is typically an output, and you have to have an input device as well. So you need to understand that. Yeah,
exactly, because we work a lot with our customers and we develop together with the customers, and that we can't kind of neglect them. We have to always take into account that what the customer wants. So that's really not our problem at the moment. So yeah.
Right, but so now personally, you're going to focus more on the Yeti tablet side. Do you have some specific plans to, and what you're going to do with that?
Yeah, so on the Yeti tablet side, we are making smart technology accessible for everybody. You would think that nowadays it is, but it really isn't. There are huge people groups that cannot access any kind of smart technology devices. People over 75 are facing enormous challenges with technology still. Device complexity and poor usability are these main barriers that are stopping them from using smart technology. And if one thinks about it, Skypes and whatnots have been around almost 20 years, and still today the elderly cannot really communicate with those. And we all notice what happened with COVID-19. Everybody, the elderly are very lonely, and the loneliness is not the only problem, but it creates other problems as well. So there is, for example, remote care, overall preventive health care, all these data you should get, like meters, indicators you need in order to follow up on patient status. And what it all comes down to is the device, the usable device. If you want any kind of remote healthcare, anything basically, you have to have the device. The software doesn't cut it. And this is where we are going. So we are now launching an individual device to tackle these huge challenges the aging population is facing.
So that would be something that's not perhaps as big as the Yeti tablet, or?
Yeah, of course. There the advantage has been, of course, that it's big and is used by groups, but this individual device,
right,
it's smart technology that we just make accessible for the elderly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, are there any specific display requirements around that? I remember I've talked to people in remote medical, and color, for example, color accuracy is really important. You know, when a doctor looks at you and says you look pale, you look red, you look, the color issues are really important to individual medicine often. Have you got particular requirements there?
Yeah, well, actually, color issues come to play when we are dealing with when we are doing the accessibility to the people, that they would be able to use the devices. So then we have to take into account what are the colors that we are using on the screen. Yeah, everything. Yeah, because we really want to offer a smart technology. We don't want to make a one-off device. I know companies that doing this one-off device. I don't believe in that. I believe in smart technology, but we have to make it accessible so that everybody is able to use it.
Yeah, well, my guilty little secret is I'm 40 years in the display business, but I'm colorblind.
Okay.
So you will very rarely hear me at an event talking about the details of the color performance of any display for 40 years, because I'm never sure that I'm right or not. I may say something very silly. So, and it amazes me how often, given how many men are colorblind, how often I look at something on the web or on an interface where I'm not sure whether it's positive or negative, because red and green are used as the indicators. It's amazing how often that happens. But,
yeah, we also have to take that into account. However, the problem is that the elderly are not usually seeing white color, so we are kind of limited. There is colorblind, like green, red. They can sometimes see those, but if you're colorblind, you can't. So this is what we are tackling. We try to find the kind of device and develop that everybody could actually use it. There are huge problems that we could solve with this. And governments are really struggling with the aging population, as everybody knows nowadays. It's a huge cost, unfortunately.
Sure, excellent. And as in wearing your CEO's hat, looking forward, what are the main limiters to growing and developing that business? Is it the finance side, the investment you need to do it, or technology or supply chain? Where would you see the key areas?
Yeah, so we have a new CEO now at Kuori. So I'm wearing my business unit developer hat, and well, I think it comes to funding. We can develop the device. I have no doubt of that, because we have the best team ever, and we know everything about touchscreens. So that's kind of covered. But if we then want to launch it all over the world, of course, then it comes to the funding. But yeah, I also believe that we will have such a good product that we won't really have problems there.
Excellent. Oh, well, that's good to hear. And so thanks very much for your time today, Maria. It's very interesting. We covered some areas we haven't talked about before. So I enjoyed the discussion. I hope our viewers will get the chance to come along and see the CEO Forum if they haven't done so already. As I say, our panel is very strong this year. So I want to thank you, Maria, for your time today, and say goodbye and see you soon at the CEO Forum.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see everybody there.
Thanks. Bye.